1,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds, bring it on. Strong men love it when it hurts. One season in the life of 5 Canadian strongmen.
I go to sleep, I get up, it's all I think about all day.
Strongmen are no longer a circus act.
Strong man is what I do, strong man is what I am. Solid as a rock to me means unbreakable.
The strongmen from Ontario will go head-to-head in a heated competition. Who will be crowned the strongest man in the province? Paul Vaillancourt, who held the title from 2009 to 2011, is determined to snatch it back from Luc Scarab, but a young man from Sudbury might have a few tricks up his sleeve. Maxime Boudreau, solid as a rock. Thunder Bay, the Ontario's Strongest Man competition will begin in 18 hours. 14 competitors converge on this city of northern Ontario. Vaillancourt lives 1,400 kilometers away. He took the plane at dawn, but his connecting flight was delayed. If he wants to be well rested before the competition, Paul needs to arrive soon. Finally, Paul's flight lands in Thunder Bay, but the delays have taken its toll on his mood.
It feels like a lot of travel for traveling within the province, but it feels like we traveled halfway across the goddamn universe today. I left my house at 5, and I'm not sure about what happened. There was a change in the times or something like this. I was supposed to arrive here for 10:30, but a flight got changed. You hit a certain level within Canada as a competitor, and you have to start traveling, a fair distance. But this year, Thunder Bay is where the provincials are, which I'm not super pleased about because there's 14 competitors and I believe 4 of them are from here. And the rest are traveling, just like myself, traveling from Southern Ontario.
Paul finally arrives at his hotel room and makes himself at home by unpacking all of his different protein supplements. However, instead of resting, he decides it's playtime.
I try to be a regular, everyday, normal motherfucker, is the way I like to think about myself. Just, live it day by day, have a good time. I do live a pretty 100 mile an hour lifestyle for sure. The characteristic that's unique to strongman is it's guys that just, are maybe a little bit crazy. They have massive pain tolerance, and they're hungry for glory.
Strong men have a certain reputation for doing whatever they want. They seem to think they can take over the hotel. One of them decides he wants to show off the size of his engine. Subtle form of intimidation? If the guys don't want to get thrown out, they might want to move their loud engines away from the hotel before someone lodges a complaint. But Paul better stay away from the wheel. We remember his accident in Sherbrooke that cost him $2,000.
After Sherbrooke, I'm just going to stay in the fucking shotgun position. It's better for my finances.
Speaking of Sherbrooke, that's where we find Savoie at the pub La Cachette. The strongman is relaxing and being treated like a star. Smiling for a photo or lifting up a fan isn't all he's here for, though. He's here for a serious competition, and his opponent is a beefy contender. Today we're holding an amateur eating contest. We're serving a 110-ounce steak with 4 pounds of fries and 1 pound of gravy.
Who wants some fries?
2 competitors, the strongman Christian and the plumber Jean-François. The road to victory will be long and greasy. It's 2 good competitors. I saw both of them eat my food. Christian Savoy was once able to eat 2/3 of my 10-pound hamburger. It's going to be a tight competition, but Christian does have a ferocious appetite.
All I know is I'm starving.
Francine Terrien, what do you think about this eating competition?
If you have a cardiovascular condition, you should keep away from this type of competition because it could be fatal. So in this plate, you have enough saturated fat for an entire month, and they are trying to digest this in 45 minutes.
Alors là, vous essayez de digérer en 45 minutes. Donc, ce que ça produit dans votre organisme, c'est que...
What happens inside your body for many hours after you have this meal is that your blood vessels will dilate to bring the oxygen and blood necessary to produce energy and send it to your tissues, your heart, and your brain. Not only will you feel very lousy, but it can also be very dangerous.
They have 45 minutes to eat as much as possible, and after 45 minutes we stop everything. We weigh the leftovers of each contestant, and that's how we determine the winner. 45 minutes is a short time to eat so much. Dumbfounded, the crowd keeps watching as Christian begins to sweat. The Ontario's Strongest Man will begin shortly and lasts 2 days. A very important competition. Hugo Gérard, ex-champion of the world, explains.
The different provincial championships that we have in Canada are important because it brings the best athletes of every province to the Canadian championships that will really determine who is the strongest man in Canada. These championships are very important for the national hierarchy of the sport to make sure that we have the best athletes from that competition.
This is the most important show of the year for me because I love the title of Ontario's Strongest Man. It fits perfectly behind my name.
The competition's organizer is Luke Scarab, who is also a competitor. Chris McDowell will be the judge. The strongmen warm up for the competition. Paul Vaillancourt lets out his inner child.
Just making sure you're awake.
The crowd keeps growing as the competition begins for the strongest men in Ontario. The first event is the tire flip, 850 pounds over a distance of 80 feet. The first contestant is the competition's organizer himself, Luke Scarab. An excellent time for Scarab, who finishes the course in 33.78 seconds, which puts pressure on the other competitors.
That seems unreal. I'm kind of shocked it's that fast.
While Savoy is participating in an eating competition in Sherbrooke, in which he's working on a 110-ounce steak, the Ontario's Strongest Man has just begun. Paul Vaillancourt is here to win, but Luke Scarab has just set the bar incredibly high. Next up is Kyle Rayner from Thunder Bay. Sylvain Guimont, Doctor of Sports Psychology and a biomechanical specialist, will explain to us what is needed to flip a tire of 850 pounds.
We do it in 2 or 3 different movements, really. The first move is to grab hold of the tire, and that is pure strength. My hands grip with my arms. The second movement is to push, and that force is equal to the one that is pushing down on the ground. It is this push to the ground that enables me to lift it up. It's funny because the athlete needs to push down with his body so that the result of that will lead to the tire being pushed upwards. As we can see, the tire begins to move because I'm transferring my energy to the tire. The tire moves because of the energy that is given to it, and afterwards what the athletes want to do is get underneath the tire to give it the final push to flip it. Once the center mass of the object crosses to the other side, that's when it flips.
It's Vaillancourt's turn.
Ready, go!
Vaillancourt rapidly finishes the course and seems happy about his performance, until he realizes that it wasn't fast enough to beat Luke Scarab's time.
Okay.
I got myself pretty fired up.
Really?
Made a bit of a scene out there.
Paul Vaillancourt isn't the only one who is unhappy with his performance. Maxime Boudreau blames his poor performance on the tire being too light.
Compared to other events, this is more cardio. Since it's not heavy, it becomes more of a race than anything else. For example, in Sherbrooke or in Amqui, it was a lot heavier. So it really becomes a race, and the winner will be the fastest.
Ce que Maxime nous explique, c'est que lui il aime travailler avec les choses qui sont en force.
What Maxim is saying is that he prefers events that are all about brute force, quick events, heavy lifting. Once we ask him to have stamina, he doesn't like that because that requires lots of cardio. So we are asking him not only to have strength but also stamina because it's a race against time, and probably what Max is better at isn't speed but his strength.
C'est des épreuves où on n'a pas besoin d'utiliser la vitesse, mais plutôt la force pure et brute.
Even if the tire isn't considered very heavy at 810 pounds, it can still cause some injuries. The tire got the best of Len Elliott, who will have to drop out of the competition.
This needs
Surgery, probably.
Perhaps you'll need at least a console.
Okay.
Hold tight.
Maxime Boudreau is only in his early 20s, but he is already a rising star. The Canadian champion, Jean-François Caron, tells us what he thinks of him. If we look at the younger Canadian guys that are performing incredibly well, there's Maxime Boudreau, who is 21 years old, an impressive specimen. He started competing as a strongman about 2 or 3 years ago, and he could probably finish in the top 6 of the Canadian Championships depending on the events. At 21 years old, it's very rare to see someone with such a massive frame and brute strength. It's really impressive. But before talking about the Canadian Championships, we have to first qualify at the provincials. Go for it, Max. You're driving your fans wild.
Max is rounding the corner. Kyle is rounding the corner now.
Our strongmen push themselves to the breaking point, which can have certain undesirable repercussions. After the farmer's walk comes the race to the bathroom. Savoie is also putting his digestive system on the line in an effort to win against his opponent, a 110-ounce steak. His significant other wipes his forehead as the countdown continues.
8 minutes. Is it a tight race? I haven't seen how much is left on their plates. It's hard to tell. I think their steak is from a brontosaurus.
The contest is over in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The plates need to be weighed to determine who ate the most. And the winner is... Who will be crowned champion and Ontario's strongest man in Thunder Bay? Vaillancourt wants to snatch back his title, but Luke Scarab was a force to be reckoned with at the tire flip. And Max Boudreau might have a few surprises in store for us.
It went well, but it's hard when you're going with a guy who is slower than you. It doesn't push you to race. I had to try to push myself as much as I could.
Vaillancourt is paired up with Luke Scarab for the Farmer's Walk. It promises to be quite a race. Luke won, but Paul was right there behind him. With the adrenaline pumping, Paul lets go of his emotions.
That was fast. Get that on camera. Get that on camera. This will never happen again. Never again. It's a tiring event. Had a good run, sloppy turn. We were neck and neck, and my turn blew a little wide. He got me, but we were flying. It was good. I was happy with that pairing because I knew we'd have a good go. It helps us both, which we both needed it. Middle of the fucking pack after tire, so it's a good cruise.
The last event of the day is a monster, the truck lift. Many competitors can't even lift the truck. Sylvain Guimont explains why.
I'm not very surprised that they can't lift it. It's extremely heavy.
Par contre, ce qui les aide ici,
on the other hand, what can help is that the lever is very long between the ground and the handles. The further away from the truck they are, the more the weight of it is distributed over a longer surface, making the lift easier. The only thing that is standardized is that every athlete is lifting the same weight. There doesn't seem to be a standard on the length of these things or how they are built.
La façon dont les équipements sont fabriqués pour leur permettre de compétitionner.
I love this. This is why I do this. I love that. I'm sorry about the blood on the truck.
Even with how difficult the event looks, Vaillancourt is confident that he'll win this one.
I'm gonna win this event. That's what I'll tell you right now. I'm looking for 12, 15 reps.
Paul seems satisfied with 9 lifts, but will it be enough to beat Luke Scarab? Can Luke do better than Paul's 9 lifts? Luke will beat Paul on this event and get some major points. However, the judges' decisions are not always unanimous.
The drill has to beat the 13 reps now. That is what the
Paul believes Scarab didn't perform his last lift correctly, but the judge has already made his decision.
He needs to have his knees locked out. Then McDowell gave it to him. Once it's given though. You can't tell me no.
The first day of the competition is over, and with such a tight race, it's still anyone's game. The second day will determine who will win Ontario's strongest man.
There's still a lot of competition left, so I just need to stay focused, stay on top, and see what happens.
Well, I predicted 1-2. I'm unfortunately in third by a few points. I'm a little bit pissed off about that, but pissed off only with myself. Overall, not a bad day. Third place going into day 2. Tomorrow's another big day, so I'm ready to rock.
Will Christian Savoie win his eating competition? And the winner is Christian Savoie. He ate 4.3 pounds. His rival ate 3.7 pounds, so Christian ate 0.6 more.
That's why I'm stuffed. But I do have some room for dessert. Maybe something chocolate? That would be delicious.
Christian wants some dessert.
What do you have?
Nothing, we don't have any dessert.
Damn it.
Thunderbay Day 2. Will Vaillancourt be able to beat Scarab and Boudreau and win back his title of Ontario's strongest man?
Yeah!